I wanted to take a second and tell you about the sleeping pad I've been using recently. For me, a sleeping pad is a huge contributor to whether or not I have a good camping experience whenever I'm sleeping in a tent. Some people don't have a problem sleeping on hard surfaces, but if you're like myself, you like to have some cushion. However, the balance between cushion and carrying it on your back for miles and miles and miles, well, it's a delicate balance. And this video isn't sponsored, but it's just simply me telling you what I've found to work. Sea to Summit manufactures a lot of really nice products, in which I own quite a few. I think their ultralight pillow is probably my favorite, but this sleeping pad, the Etherlight XT Insulated Air Sleeping Pad, is my second favorite. They offer all kinds of different sizes, but with a 4-inch thickness and 16.6 ounces in weight, I'm not sure that there's another reputable, durable sleeping pad that can compete. They designed the sleeping pad with a 3.2 R value, which simply means that you can use it in the spring and in the fall as long as it's not brutally cold. It's got a little insulation to it, and I've tested it and it definitely helps. The sleeping pad has a pillow lock system, so if you're using their pillow, you can lock it right into place so it's not sliding all over the place. The multi-function valve to inflate and deflate is, well, very simple, reliable, and it just works. Pack size is also huge when it comes to sleeping pads. Whenever I'm doing a long distance hike with a sleeping pad, I usually strap my sleeping pad on the bottom of my backpack. It fits perfectly. Here you can see a comparative size as to how big each size is in its packed form compared to a water bottle. Now I'm probably going to kick myself for saying this, but I've never had a situation where this sleeping pad leaked. I did have one situation where I went to sleep and it was about 60 degrees, and I woke up in the middle of the night and it was about 45 degrees, and it felt like the sleeping pad had less air in it, but it was due to the change in temperature. I put a little more air in it and it never had another problem that night. Another feature I really like about this sleeping pad is the fact that it's designed to be quiet. So many sleeping pads out there are so noisy and so loud. You can wake yourself up just by rolling or moving a little bit. The last thing you want your sleeping pad to do is disrupt your sleep. A sleeping pad is designed to help you sleep. You can choose the version that's a little bit mummy shaped, or you can go with just a regular rectangle. Obviously, if you go with a larger size and a rectangle shape, there's more material, so it's going to weigh more. The storage sack that the sleeping pad stuffs into also is the inflation bag. It's very simple. You open the inflation bag, you blow a little air inside, and then you roll the inflation bag down so all of the air inside gets forced into the sleeping pad. Sometimes with other sleeping pads, it's hard to fill the inflation bag with air. You have to kind of wave it around in circles and all that kind of mess. Sea to Summit designed this one so that it's very easy to fill the bag with air and then squeeze it down into the sleeping pad. You can completely fill this pad in just a couple of minutes. At REI's website, you can see they're rated 4.6 out of 157 reviews. On Sea to Summit's website, they have a 4.7 rating out of 160 reviews, and in my experience with any gear, that's really good. Sea to Summit uses air-sprung cells as their technology to make sure the sleeping pad is as comfortable and as quiet as possible. The design kind of mimics the modern-day mattress. Some other features of the pad is the ultra-fresh anti-microbial treatment that Sea to Summit adds to prevent any mold or mildew issues whenever the air pad gets moist or damp, and if you do enough camping, that's definitely going to happen. So now that we've went over the things I like about the Sea to Summit Etherlight XT Insulated Sleeping Pad, let's talk about a few of the things that could be considered cons. And the first one is right here in front of you, and that's the price. It's pretty expensive. And yes, you can find probably more bang for your buck in some other sleeping pads. This pad is going to specialize for those that want that extra thickness, that 4 inches, to make sure they are as far off the ground as they can possibly get. I'm not aware of a pad that's thicker than 4 inches that's still considered ultralight or for backpacking, so I think this pad has you covered with 4 inches in thickness as far as the backpacking and ultralight industries go. Some people complain about the noise, although Sea to Summit kind of, uses that as an advertising point. But I think it kind of goes hand in hand with another concern that some users bring up, and that's slippery surface. And A slippery surface is very common in the sleeping pad industry. Now I will say Seat of the Summit and some other manufacturers, but Seat of the Summit specifically with the pillow that I showed you, it has kind of it's almost like a fabric. It's like a velvety texture on one side, and it would kind of be cool if they did that on the sleeping pads. However, I'm sure that would add a lot of extra weight, so maybe that's why they haven't done it, but I think that would be something worth considering if they could get the weight down to that ultralight status. That would also provide just a little bit more insulation for warmth. Sleeping mats don't have that texture, so if you were, ultra concerned about that kind of texture or the noise, you could go to a sleeping mat. Now, the trade-off is thickness, so sleeping mat's not going to give you anywhere near the thickness off the ground. So do us a favor and let us know down in the comments below, what is your go-to? What's your favorite sleeping pad when it comes to backpacking? Here's one of those things with a diminishing return. The more you spend on it, it seems like once you get into those upper dollars, the less you get per dollar. If you've struggled to find a good sleeping pad and that thickness really means a lot to you, I definitely want to encourage you to give this sleeping pad a look. Take a look at it, look at the specs, look at the reviews. I think this might be a product that you would appreciate. My point in making this video is, again, as always, when it comes to gear, I just want to show you what I'm using and give you my thoughts on why, and then we can have a discussion about it down in the comments below. So I hope you guys have an awesome week. Find a way to get out in the woods and test whatever sleeping pad you have, because that's what it's all about. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll see you on the next video.